idea is that government needs to be smaller. We have 6,000 fewer state employees in New Jersey today than the day I was sworn in as governor. For the first time in 105 years, teacher tenure has been reformed so that we can finally have accountability in the classroom. Teachers who teach stay, teachers who don't go. And when they said it could never be done, now twice, for the first time since Roe versus Wade, New Jersey has elected a pro-life governor of New Jersey. And this is what I mean about the media. I got asked the question last year, hey, Governor, you're very popular in a blue state. How can you export that to the rest of the country given the intolerance on social issues in your party? And I said, well, let me ask you a question. I said, you say the Republicans are intolerant. Well, I'll just tell you this. At our national convention, we've had people like Tom Ridge and Colin Powell and Condi Rice speak at our national conventions, even though our party platform and I don't agree with their position on abortion. Tell me, sir, the last pro-life Democrat who was allowed to speak at a Democratic convention. I said, and by the way, don't strain yourself because there's never been one. They're the party of intolerance, not us. The fact is that we have to take these guys on directly. And you know I'm shy and retiring, and I don't like to speak my mind, especially regarding the media. But, you know, what we need to start saying is that we're not going to put up any longer with them defining who we are. But the way we have to define ourselves is say what we're for. So when we say that we're pro-life and that we're proudly pro-life, that doesn't mean we're pro-life just when that human being is in the womb. We need to be pro-life when they leave the womb as well, for every step of their lives. And what's that mean? It means we have to be in favor of an educational system that's accountable so that child, as they grow, can have a world-class education. It means that we have to be in favor of a society that creates opportunity and jobs for them, not one that has the government control what they think is good or fair in our society. And it means when those children fall victim to disease, a disease like drug rehabilitation, we need to rehabilitate those kids because every life is precious. Every life is precious no matter where they are in society. We need to make that difference. So when we say we're proudly pro-life, we have to be pro-life throughout their entire lives, not just through parts. And when we say that we want to make a difference in our society, we need to make a difference through the type of free market reforms that have always worked in our country. And we don't need, Mr. President, your opinion on what income inequality is. We don't have an income inequality problem. We have an opportunity inequality problem in this country because government's trying to control the private market. You know, in the end, we have the type of people in state houses throughout this country who can make a real difference in our country's future. But we have to stay focused on the task at hand. You see, as I travel around the country as the chairman of the Republican governors, what I feel more than anything else is a frustration in our country with everyone who believes that government no longer works for them, that government just works for itself. And we need leaders now who are willing to say not only that we are against Obamacare, which we are, we need leaders that are only going to say that we're against higher taxes, which we are, we're against a bigger government, we're against more intrusion into our constitutional rights, we're against all those things, but we need to also talk about what we're for. We need to talk about the fact that we are for a free market society that allows your effort and your ingenuity to determine your success, not the cold, hard hand of government determining winners and losers, which is what this administration has been all about. And we need to make sure that we say we are for America being a leader in the world And we are for a strong national defense, not one that allows other countries to run us over all over the world. When other people around the world struggling for freedom used to look to America, they looked to an America that was an example for them as to how a free and open society could govern itself. After the last number of years of dysfunction in Washington, D.C. and lack of leadership in the White House, those folks are finding it harder now to look at an America that they want to emulate. An America that's governing itself effectively and providing to its people a safe and civilized society. If we want to once again lead the world, it's not just about the might of our arms. It is about us making ourselves once again an example about how a free, open society that craves and treasures liberty over all else can govern itself in an effective and functioning way. We're not doing that. And we're not the only losers. The rest of the world loses if we don't do that. And so what I think we need to go out and charge out of this conference to do over the course of 2014 is to keep the House of Representatives, win back the United States Senate, win more Republican governorships, and show people that Republicans know what we stand for and we know how to get things done in this country and to lead the world again. But to do that, I'll remind you of just one simple truth in this democracy. We don't get to govern if we don't win. And it's not only bad when we don't get to govern because we don't get to mold and change our society. What's worse is they do. And they're doing it to us right now. So please, let us come out here resolved not only to stand for our principles, but let's come out of this conference resolved to win elections again. That's what I intend to do for the next year, and I hope you'll join me.